Hey everyone. So tonight we have a very special guest, Alexandra. Thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
So can you just tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
So I'm 32. I am a single mom. I was married to my ex-husband for 10 years, very long. But we went through ups and downs as well, just like I've seen with your story. I'm also a recovering addict, and I have about 380 days on me now.
That's
I'm
awesome.
perfectly happy, doing way better, getting along with my ex-husband, getting along with his girlfriend. My son's happy. I'm also a survivor of a lot of things. I've been through the ringer as well, a lot of mental and physical abuse, but my most recent was physical, and I also just know what it's like to still continue to battle with figuring out mental abuse completely. Um, but I am doing much better with everything going on in my life now. I've gone through the ringer and now I'm building back up. So things are doing a lot better than it was a year ago.
That's amazing. And every day it's one step at a time and you're doing the best you can. But
Yes.
so now you have been through a lot with the system and you're in Canada, right?
Yes.
And
I am in
so
Canada.
um are there any things that you have seen in the Canadian system that are different than the States from what you've seen, like things I've posted and stuff like that?
Yes. So one thing that I truly don't understand, I'm not gonna lie, with because I don't know how the American system works, right? I don't understand why not automatically in this case you would automatically be given a children's lawyer. So here it's called OCL. So Ontario Children's Lawyers. So they're automatically assigned if it's in a case like what I've seen happen with you. Our case was a little different. We were asked automatically, do you want to have OCL? And they would not have continued. They would have signed it, and me and my ex-husband would have no say whatsoever. We did not decide to go that route just because we had no real reason to. But that is something I have always noticed. I don't understand why it wasn't automatically assigned. DCF, I do not understand DCF in the States.
Do you guys have that?
No, we have CAS, so Children's Aid Society.
Okay.
Um, put it this way, even with all the crap that I went through, I did not have CAS called on me ever. We went to court standing sitting in front of the judge just like this on Zoom, and they said, "Did either of you call CAS?" And we're like, "No." We had to call CAS on each other. So even in that case, they came here. I'm not kidding you. They give you so much praise for trying to fix yourself and fix your life. All I ever hear in every video I've seen on this app with TikTok and everything, it's DCF just wants to take your kids. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about the dad. They don't care about the kids. I'm sorry. That's my personal opinion. Completely different.
No, I
Um,
agree.
yeah, so I will also say from watching your videos with the judge, it absolutely drives me crazy how many times she interrupts you, how many times she degrades you, and like it drives me crazy that people don't understand why the heck you're getting so defensive about your daughter. It's just honestly, I'm like, what makes you think a mom wouldn't react that way? Um, my judge actually told my ex-husband like he needs to calm down a bit because I'm actually sitting in front of her and admitting all my faults. They all rooted for me. CAS has rooted for me. Everybody. I have never had anybody in my corner saying you're a piece of crap, where I feel that's all I ever hear in your videos at all with court. And that drives me crazy. Um, and then on top of it, the protective order thing. So you are very, very smart about following that. I would not be able to do. As for the phone calls, it absolutely drives me insane when I hear any videos about anybody in the States saying that I have to be here to supervise the call. No, you don't. Actually, you really don't. Welcome to protective orders. You're actually not supposed to be anywhere near her. So goodbye. And then I also am under supervised visits. And my ex-husband literally tells my son, go over there, like go have your private call. He does not supervise the calls. He knows he's not allowed to.
So
So that
a
is
couple of
something
things
also
like
different.
you, a lot of the stuff that you pointed out is just showing how much fraud and illegal stuff that they did in my case. Number one,
Exactly.
in the States, like they'll call it like a GAL, a guardian ad litem, or an
Okay.
AMC, an attorney for the minor child. And like usually
Oh,
like
okay.
in high conflict cases, most of the time the court will appoint a GAL, a lawyer for the child, and they're supposed to be a neutral third party that serves for the best interest of the child. It's not the dad's lawyer, it's not the mom's lawyer, it's for the child, but they're not doing what the child wants. They're doing what's in the child's best interest, which is
Yeah.
different from an AMC, which usually is for older kids, where an AMC is actually like the child's attorney and they're supposed to like argue for what does the kid want. So if the kid's like 13 and they're like, I really want to live with my mom, then the the children's lawyer is supposed to be like, okay, well, my client wants to live with their mom. But most of the
Oh, okay.
time, like everybody gets a GAL and people complain all the time
Mhm.
that the GALs are corrupt and stuff, but everybody gets one. Well, in my case, when I had a lawyer, he filed a motion for a GAL and Grossman denied it. I filed a motion myself 3 times after that asking for a GAL, and Grossman's response was order, see order from May 31st, 2023. When you look at the order from May 31st, 2023, it's the long order that she wrote that says that I'm such a terrible person and that I lied about the sexual abuse and that Matt has sole custody and I have to be on supervised visits and blah, 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 blah. So that was her response. She's basically like, go fuck yourself. This is staying in a, we're not changing anything and you guys aren't getting a GAL. And I think that they were scared to give me one because they know that a lot of times like these GALs will do fraud and play people and stuff, but like they know that
Yeah.
like I was in law school. They know that I was like asking questions and like calling them out on what they're doing. So of course,
Yeah.
and when there's real abuse, the GAL is supposed to be like, "Hey guys, it's in the child's best interest to not be with the abuse." Instead of
Yeah. Of
letting us have a
course.
GAL who would have said she's better off without me, I mean without him,
Hmm.
instead of letting us have somebody to advocate for her, they turned around and refused to give us one. So usually they do give them, but in our case they wouldn't. Everyone else gets one except us.
I just don't understand the way the crap works, honestly. Listened to the court hearing again the other day about where I saw the comments before about, oh, maybe it's because of the way you acted. I'm sorry. Why don't you go be a mother and tell me you wouldn't react like that in court? You're being told to basically shut up,
And
constantly
also
interrupting you.
that's another
But
thing is that if you act emotional or act upset or disruptive or whatever word you want to use, if you act like that in court, that is not grounds to lose custody. That is not
no,
grounds to go on supervised visits. That is not grounds
no.
for any of that. And you know what she did in her order? She said in the order that mother's access will be as determined by the father in the presence of a third party designated by the father. And it also said mothers may also get FaceTime calls monitored by the father. So that's why in the calls, it says
She
FaceTime's
says that.
monitored by the father, but he'll say in every call, whether it's a FaceTime or not, I'm supervising the call, supervising the call.
Then shut up in the background, Matt.
Yeah.
Like,
And he would harass me. And like um during the calls, like he would talk to me when there was a protective order that protected me from him that said it's a felony if he contacts me. He would
yeah.
talk during the calls just to bother me because it's like imagine if somebody said like if this person says one word to you, it's a felony. And they keep talking to you every day and you go to the police every day and you show them the recording like, look, they talked to me again. They broke the order again. Can you arrest them? And the police are like, well, we're not sure if it's a violation. Let's see what the court says. And then they ask the court, the court's like, no, it's not a violation, but it is a violation.
It
So
is a
it's like
violation.
anyone's gonna go drive themselves crazy because it's like you're literally being treated different and you're basically
Hmm.
being told like, sorry, but the law doesn't apply to you. The law applies to everybody else except you. But when it's me who has a protective order that protects him, like it is now,
Yeah.
they arrested me in October for going to her pediatrician's office and it didn't violate anything. I didn't violate. The order doesn't say I can't go near him. The order doesn't say I can't
Yeah.
go to her pediatrician appointment. And so what
Yeah.
did I? They said I interfered with him because I went there and they arrested me and charged me with a felony. But when he violated the no contact over 100 times, they wouldn't arrest him. And I found out through the grapevine that he's actually a confidential informant that works for the police. And that's
I
why
wouldn't be surprised.
they won't arrest their own CIs because they need them. And
And this is where he loves to always like, of course, I don't see him on TikTok. I don't even know if he's on here, but this is where you hear recordings where he makes it sound like you're some crazy person that's making these delusions up in your damn head. And it's like, it's so cute how narcs do that. Like
exactly.
honestly, like it's actually pathetic. And that's the other thing too with how for the sorry, for the temporary order I had with my ex-husband, it was he had sole residency, not sole decision making. Everything still had to go through me, doctor's appointments, everything. They don't take that away unless they take all your rights away. So I don't know if that's a huge difference with like what you guys have, but there's nothing that makes it so I can't go to appointments. I can't do anything to do with school. None of that stuff. Not that we've ever had that issue. That's the thing. It's like, I'm like, man, how long does this have to go on for? For you to
Yeah.
continue to be doing this? Like, it's toxic. And then with
Yeah.
how upset you get in court, and that's understandable. I'm not saying it's not. Do you guys, I genuinely had this question because I've watched the videos. Do you guys not have the support thing at court where you can say, I need a support person in court with me because I have a mental health condition that I can't control my emotions all the time?
You can ask for it, but they don't even let the person stand next to you. They make the
Oh,
person, they can't even stand next to you. And it's like pulling teeth just to ask. They make you have to ask for
that's
a disability accommodation. And then they start saying, like, oh, well, you don't really have a disability. And why do you need this? And blah, blah, blah. And like under federal law, we have like the Americans with Disabilities Act, which basically
hmm
says like any like public place, like a courthouse, like a police station, like any, even a supermarket, like anything open to the public has to
yeah.
accommodate for people with disabilities. And you can't be, if it's a public thing like court, they can't deny you access based on your disability. And so it's like when I would try to say, like, look, I have PTSD, I have ADHD, it's not easy to like go in there like a superstar lawyer when you're like dealing with severe trauma and it's
No.
emotional because it's about your kid. Like, who's gonna go in there like a robot with no emotions? Nobody.
Um, Definitely a
Sociopaths.
psychopath
Yeah.
or a sociopath, narcissist.
Matthew
They can turn
Lodice.
on tears. Yes. Yeah, Matt. My gosh, no, it just I can't believe even the way the court order was written for you for supervisors. Like it would
Yeah.
had to have
Like
names
Like he has to
on
pick a
mine.
supervisor and there's no schedule. There's no set schedule, no set supervisor, nothing. So I would be
That's
begging
horrible.
him every single day. I would beg him morning to night. When can I see Angelina? He would read my message and leave me on read with a timestamp of when he read it. And I'd be like, hello, when can I talk? When can I see my daughter? Ignore, ignore, ignore. Or he would answer and be like, oh, you have to plan a proper supervised visit, blah, blah. So I'd be like, okay, well, can you give me a schedule so that I can find a supervisor
Yeah,
and make arrangements? Then he'd stop responding. Or he'd be like, so
yeah.
he would say, any Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday during the day. When he knew that I was in law school during those times, he would like stalk me, find my schedule, and he would only offer times when I had school or when I had other things that were going on. And like he would say, like
So we did on
during the
purpose.
day, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but you have to let me know at least one day in advance. So I would try to say to him on like a Sunday, can I see her tomorrow? Wouldn't answer. Or he would be like, oh, what during the day? What do you mean during the day? During the day could mean anything. You're not giving me a set time so that in like, okay,
No.
let's say I was going to ask you to supervise, right? If I call
hmm
you and I'm like, hey, can you supervise for me on Monday? What are you going to ask me? You're going to say, yeah, what time? Where?
What
What time?
time?
Yeah. What are the details? And I'd be
I
like,
got
well,
things to do too.
I, he would want me to tell him who the supervisor was before he gave me the details. But then who the hell is going to be sitting around all day twiddling their thumbs waiting to be asked on standby to be the supervisor? And so and then he would be like, "Oh, this person can't ever supervise again because they were an hour late." Or, "Oh, this person, I told you guys you have to only stay in Waterbury and you went to your house. So they're never allowed to supervise again. He told my mom on August 27th, 2023, he told my mom that she could never see my daughter again. He told her that she was banned from supervising because she let us stop at my house for 5 minutes. And Angelina begged to go inside to see her toys and see all her things. And we stopped
Yeah.
at on my house. We stopped at to get from my garden some tomatoes, cucumbers from the garden. Stop inside for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Angelina when we dropped her off, she's like, Daddy, mommy went to her house. And I recorded this and he was like, oh, did you go there too? And she's like, yeah. And he goes, don't worry, you're never going to see Yaya again. And that's my mom. So it's like, he's literally telling her that they're being punished because we weren't allowed to go to my house. But the court order didn't say we can't go to my house. He made that up. He would make up rules. And then he would say like, oh, if you want to see her, you have to go in this park that's near my house and you can only see her for 30 minutes. It's a 40-minute drive to get there and a 40-minute drive back. So I'm going to drive 40 minutes, see her for
Oh
30
my
minutes in
God.
a park and then drive back. And the park would have like no bathroom, just a porta potty. And it was like the city he lives in is like a ghetto, dangerous, violent city. If you look at my state in Connecticut, it's the worst place you could live, the worst school systems, high crime, violence. It's not
Oh
the
my
kind of place you want to
God.
raise a little girl. And the
No.
parks, like last time we went to that park, it was like dirty. There's like trash everywhere. And it's like, at our house, we had a playroom. We had all her toys,
Yeah.
everything, all her birthday presents. And like, I had like bounce houses and like fun stuff, like a pool. Nope, he wants us to go in the dirty, disgusting park and with no bathroom and use a porta potty where people are like shooting up and there's needles everywhere. And that's what I
And
want my 4-year-old to do. Like it's disgusting. And
that's
so,
exactly why I don't go to the park in my hometown. I live with my parents right now, which is like 30 minutes away where my ex-husband is. Just because I came here to get away from everybody. And even he said, like, I hate when you're in Keswick. And I'm like, so do I. He's like, because I just know from your past, like, you're going to see people, it's going to set you off. And then you're going to try to go to those parks that you think are so nice now. And he's like, Alex, there's needles everywhere. Our town is very bad for drug use. Where I am, no. Like I'm fine where it is here. He'd rather me be here. And
yeah,
even now, I'm still technically on supervision. He's like, whatever, go to the park by yourself. Like, I don't care. Like
yeah.
it's the thing is I got sober. I got better. I did all the things he wanted me to do because he truly wanted me to be the mom I was prior to all this shit I was doing. And then that's what happened. And the thing is, oh, does it ever make me angry when I hear Matt say mommy's sick?
I know. And it's like, you know what?
It
It's
makes me
so
mad.
insulting because it's like, you know what? There's no shame in saying like somebody has an addiction, a problem, they have to get better, go to rehab, whatever. Like that would be understandable if like mommy was in
Mhm.
rehab or mommy was in hospital or mommy was in jail and she has to get better and then you can see her. But that simply wasn't the case. And
No,
for 10
exactly.
and for 10 straight months, I had sole legal and sole physical custody of Juliana, but
Yeah.
supervised visits only of Angelina. So that's like
And then you try to say, no,
the biggest joke of it all. How can I be fit to be a sole guardian of one kid, but
no,
the other kid I need to supervise? And I was never doing drugs. I was in
no.
therapy for PTSD from my own childhood trauma. I had been in
Yeah.
therapy my whole life, and my therapist the court asked for our records from therapy. Matt
Mhm.
refused to sign off on it. He saw a therapist when we were together. And when they told him he has to sign a release to get his records from therapy, he said he
Yeah.
didn't remember the name and he refused to sign it. And they told us that if we didn't sign the release, we'd be in trouble. He didn't sign it and they didn't do anything. They didn't make him be in trouble. And I tried to subpoena his therapist and the the um the judge blocked me from getting a subpoena because they know that I'll be able to prove what I'm saying. That's the same reason
Oh
she
my
blocked me
God.
from showing evidence. Like they they know I would win if I was able to show my proof and show my evidence and bring my witnesses. So what do? They don't give me a trial. They don't let me show evidence. They violate my rights. And then they know that they're going to keep destroying me mentally and it's going to be hard for me to keep fighting back. And then they threaten any lawyer who tries to help me. So I can't get an actual good ethical lawyer to help me. And yeah. So it's
And
it's
then they
very
try to make it
difficult.
sound like you're the one dismissing everybody for fun. Like that's
Yeah.
literally all I hear coming out of their mouths half the time. And like, see, also the other thing I'm like, how does she know all these laws? But clearly you were a law student. But you like
Yeah.
quote things. And I'm like, how are they shutting you down? If I was doing that, man, my ex-husband would probably look at me and be like, when did you get an education on this? But that's not how I'm ever treated. Even my lawyer now, he told me, he's like, right at that time when everything started, I was just getting into recovery and all that stuff, right? So he's like, you don't have the upper hand right now. I'm like, true. So he said even to me when we finished, he's like, you want to get, when you get sober, get a year sober. If things are still shit, release everything you have. I have 14 years literally sitting here in front of me. My ex-husband knows it too. It can still be used. And I didn't realize how powerful our court system became here until they actually, like, I went and spoke to people, the support team and everything. And even them, they said COVID was the reason. It caused such a mental health crisis in our country that people are constantly going in there and where they were dealing with abuse all the time. So there's so many women that are so powerful, and all I hear is like, I don't even know the way the court used to be, like screw women in your videos or in like recordings. That's all I hear. Where me,
Yeah.
no, it was essentially a big F you to my ex-husband, especially when he tried to say, I don't even care what's going on TikTok, but literally, he tried to say it cost. I had to pay $1,200 for missing an in-person court date. His lawyer sent me an email stating that, so I proved it. And he didn't know. In all fairness, he didn't know that she told me it was supposed to be in person. I was told it was Zoom. So I was sitting there, sitting here on Zoom, and then they tried to charge me $1,200. The judge, sorry, he looked at his lawyer and was like, "No, she just proved it. Read the stuff I submitted. Well, my lawyer submitted, and then she just kind of." I don't know. She changed her opinion on me. And then she's even said, I commend you for the fact that you were trying to get better. You're trying to get sober. You're admitting all your faults right now in this courtroom. And I'm like, yep. Not once was anybody rude to me, and that pissed him off at that time. Not now. Like, we're fine now. Like, literally, I went over there 4 days ago and broke down telling him, like, I feel you wish I was still an addict, you wish I was dead, and all this horrible stuff. And he just looked at me, he's like, why do you think that? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess my mind just thinks that. He sat there and reassured me. He didn't need to do that. Why the hell would he need to do that? Like, who cares? Matt does not want you to be happy. End of story. He doesn't want you to be happy. And I hate when I hear the new recordings. I can hear how he's turning Angelina against you. And it's really starting to bug me. I want
Yeah.
to jump through the phone every time and punch him in the face. And I don't care that I'm saying this on a podcast.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really
literally.
sad. And like, I have like a lot like get a lot of respect for you for being able to admit that, this was something that you struggled with in the past. You got help and now you're better. And so it's like to be able to
Yeah.
say, look, I made a mistake. I learned from it. Now I'm doing better. That takes a lot of maturity and, it shows that you're willing to do what you have to do. Me, on the other hand, I never I can't sit here and say that I did anything wrong because
You
I
didn't.
didn't. I really
You
didn't.
didn't.
And this lady, the judge, she herself just it says in the court dates, the judge is diagnosing me, saying that you have untreated mental health issues. You have undiagnosed mental health. You're a fucking judge. You are
Where's your
not a
PhD, bitch?
psychiatrist. And I said to her, just because you have a bachelor's degree in psychology does not mean that you're a psychologist. And she got so mad. She wrote in her little order, oh, Miss Antar made personal insults about the court because she has a bachelor's in psychology. And it's like, okay, well, stop trying to diagnose me and act like you're a psychiatrist. That's another
Yeah.
illegal. You're overstepping your boundaries. And when I filed a complaint, I tried to file a lawsuit. I tried to do everything. I tried to ask for
Mhm.
a different judge. She would just force me to only see her. And then what was worst thing of all is that after she switched to custody to him, she put an order saying that I can't file anything ever again unless I get permission from the court. So imagine if it's like an emergency and you try to go file an emergency motion and they're like, sorry, the court denied you permission to file this emergency motion. So it's like you're trapped. Like, and they said the only thing that they could ever let us go back for was about me paying him child support when he still owes me 15,000 in child support from when she was with me that he refused to pay. And they don't care. They're not making him pay it, but they're literally trying to put like warrants out saying that I need to go pay for him or they're going to put me in jail until I pay it. And to get out, I have to pay, which is also unconstitutional. And the Supreme Court has already said that putting somebody in jail for not paying a debt is illegal and unconstitutional, but they do it every day in child support court. But when people speak up and say, hey, by the way, the Supreme Court said you can't do that, it's illegal, they'll try to put you in jail, they'll try to shut you up, try to put you in a mental hospital. And like, I know people like this one girl from California, she's been sitting in jail with no bond since April and she's never been arrested. She was
What?
arrested for custodial interference because she tried to keep her daughter away from her ex-husband who was like sexually abusing the daughter. She said she was coming back like all bloody and the daughter was like 2 3 years old and the police
Oh
wouldn't
my
help
God.
her. The ex-husband, the judge was his next door neighbor, and the girl tried to leave and go in another state and get to safety, and US Marshals came and knocked her door down and put her in jail, and she's been in jail and she has no bond at all. I talked to her husband, and so she's being held without bail. Even murderers get a bail. Like,
That is so messed up. Like, why are women, aka moms, treated like this in the States? Like, I truly don't get it because I'm not treated like that
it's like a
here.
war on
And
women. And
that's
also,
crazy.
a lot of it has to do with like there's the federal government because there's like the federal government applies to all the states and it's supposed to be like the federal trumps the state. So it's like the states can make whatever laws they want in their own state government as long as it doesn't conflict with the federal laws and as long as it doesn't conflict with the Constitution.
Oh
So
my God.
when a state makes a law that's unconstitutional, they'll keep that unconstitutional law on the books until somebody challenges it. And when somebody wants to challenge it, it's a long, complicated, expensive process that if you don't have the resources or education or anything to know what to do, you're not going to get very far. And like even if you go through the highest court in the state, if you want to go to the
Mhm.
United States Supreme Court, they get like 300,000 applications a year and they only hear like 2,000, 3,000 of them. So it's like they pick and
Holy
choose which ones
crap.
they want to hear. They'll pick ones that are very political or ones that are ones they want to hear, like abortion, things like that. But if it's
That's
like,
so crazy.
and they also
That is
did
so
is,
different.
yeah, and the federal government also like they reserved all the stuff to do with custody and divorce to the states. So the states have no oversight. And in the federal laws, they have money for like the fatherhood
Mhm.
initiative. It's like the fatherhood funding where they give money to the states every time that they give custody to a dad. So like there's more of a financial incentive that actually they
Oh
and
my
also with
God.
child support, every time they order child support, the federal government will pay them like 70 cents for every dollar and it goes to the judge's pension. So it's like there's more of an incentive for them to like drag it on forever and then they'll say like, "Oh, go in the um go in supervised visits and pay $150 an hour, go in reunification therapy and go with the psychiatrist and spend go for drug testing and spend $500 every time to get tested." Like, and they'll make you do this for years and years and years until you go bankrupt and lose everything.
I guess I didn't really think about that. You guys can't just like go into a doctor's office the same like we can, right?
Yeah, there's no free health insurance unless you're like really poor,
Yeah.
then you can get like they call it like Medicaid, which is like for poor people and stuff. But if you work and if you
Mhm.
have like an average income, you'll make too much money that you won't be able to get that. And even if you have a good job and they give you medical, they're taking out so much money from your paycheck that you're basically paying for it yourself. And you're not using it every month. You don't go to the doctor every single day,
No,
So
no.
there's a lot of
That
bad
is
things.
so different. Oh my, I guess because I'm just so used, and I know our healthcare is not free. I understand we pay it in high taxes, but I would rather do that, obviously, right, than walk in and have to pay every time. But I had to do drug testing at the beginning of our stuff because I was getting sober. I didn't pay for that. I walked right in and, piss in a cup. they do it, but it doesn't cost us money. So I didn't care, but that would be a whole other argument. I would have ended up fighting. Like, if you want me to get tested, you could pay for it.
Yeah, and you know
Like
what's
that.
crazy? In June of 2023, she put in another order where she said that I lied about all the sexual abuse allegations, that the